Welcome to the general reading for Taurus, January 2020. This is the Osirian Rivers channel where we blend rune stones and oracle cards to bring you your message. You of course can still watch for your sun sign or rising sign, but I'm specifically doing moon sign readings from now on because that seems to be what I channel the clearest. And I think that might just have something to do with me being a Cancer. So this is your main card that we will have for January 2020. I'm going to see what else comes up, and we're also going to get you going with a rune stone today. How you guys been doing? I have been sick, and people have been trying to tell me like, oh, it's the eclipse energy, and I was like, wow, I can be pretty far out there, but yeah, I don't know if I'm digging all of that. You know, it's the energies that can make you sick. It's like, no, if you don't take care of your health, you can get sick. Like germs and viruses and parasites make people sick. Sometimes, I don't know, people that are considered my advisors in life, my spiritual advisors, are not always the most good for reality. So Taurus in January 2020 is making amends with people. And when I say amends, I don't mean that it's super simple. It's not like, oh, I did this, so it caused you to have less of something, so I'm going to give it back. Like, no, this is actually a amendment within your soul, where you can really lay to rest any problems that you've had with other people in your life. And it'll dawn on you the things that you have done wrong and the things that you have done right. So when I say making amends, I mean closing out chapters in your life. The rune we have is partnerships. So literally making a decision not to stay in the standstill center point, but to actually pick a direction and to move with it. For those of you who didn't watch my other videos, I was definitely urging the signs to go within and listen to their inner guidance and really have a moment of quietude in December. And now, especially in this first week of January, with Mars in a good placement, there's going to be a push to move ahead. And you definitely are going to take the time to think about it before you move. So while you're thinking about it, don't get stuck. Because if you don't leave by the door, you're going to be shoved out a window. Is kind of what I'm getting. The stars are going to enlighten you. Things are going to be laid to rest. And so make sure that you spend the time to close out those chapters so that you don't wind up going right back into the same karmic loop that you've been stuck in. Just do something different. Whether that is something physically different that you're doing, don't rest on your laurels, you know. It's like there can be a habit when you look back at everything you've done and you see all of these things that you did right and still somehow it came out kind of bad or somebody was sad. or the things that came out really great and they worked for you, so like you want to repeat them. But this is very much like, aha, once in a lifetime, great, you did that. Now we have to move on from it. So making sure that we have the correct partnerships in our life as we go forward in January 2020 means changing your perception about the partnerships you're already in. So if you're with somebody and it's working really great, think about why it's working really great. And if you're with somebody and it's not working really great, think about that too. There's a song by a very obscure Australian band with a ridiculous name, Freddie Fudpucker. And there was a song he wrote that said, "You learned how to run, now you can learn how to coexist." And the song's about all these ridiculous scenarios where things don't really turn out the best, and instead of being sad about it, he sort of turns it into a joke and is like, well, we can all figure out how to get along. Like, this is a really weird mashup that we have going on in this vanity card. So you could find yourself in some really strange scenarios where people are looking at you, you're like speaking your truth, and they're like, I don't know what this crazy person is saying. You know, and again, this is Taurus January reading, so maybe you're on the other side and somebody comes in, they just drop some truth bombs on you, and you're like, what the heck was that? But it will make sense. And if it doesn't make sense to them, they're going to be moving on, passing out of your life, and that is a blessing because it makes room for the people that you do belong with. It makes room where this loving bond was, for a new door to open. And that is really important, just to continue growing and changing and adapting and never, ever letting it stop. Because the moment that you think like, I have a handle on this, or I'm doing it right, you're like, oh, I don't eat fast food anymore, or I do yoga, that does not make you a better person than anybody else. And this is what this card is warning you about. And if you don't understand that right now, you will very soon. Absolutely every single person has a place and has value, even if they're no longer around you, even if they're in your past and in your memories. They're still there with you, guiding you and urging you to make the changes, to complete the karmic cycles and walk your path without continuing another cycle. This card, Mysticism, is letting you know that the messages are there. If you don't dream, you'll find it elsewhere, in meditation, in a conversation with someone who really cares about you. It definitely could be in a dream if you are the type of person who can decode your dreams. One thing I want to urge people, though, is that if you are hearing messages in the radio or in numbers or hearing voices, that you really seek the appropriate help. Now, I'm not just going to say go out and talk to a psych doctor who's going to prescribe you medication, but like when we're hearing messages, when we're being called to a door, let it be a door of sanity. Let it be a door where we remember that we still have a physical form and that we want to care for it. So as we start blending our spiritual side with our earthly side, we're not putting to bed our earthly side. We're putting to bed earthly things that had gotten in the way of us being spiritual. But similarly, we're putting away the spirit of things that need to pass out of our life. So just like you might choose, like I chose in my life, I chose to stop imbibing intoxicants regularly. So I used to drink every day. I used to smoke every day. And I have nothing against people who live that. It just wasn't my path. And as I put those physical elements away, there was also a spiritual component that left too, that created more space for some crazy dude to come in and be like, well, this is the way and the truth. And it's like, well, maybe not. But if you take a step back and you think about it in solitude, in reflection, in dreams, the enlightenment is there. The people that you should serve and can serve you are with you on your path. This path is where we want to be, not this path. And we do that by letting go of outmoded habits. Really think about your spiritual aspects of your life, and if there's any of them that haven't worked for you, like if you have this belief where you think you can control the weather or something, I'm going to tell you that you can't, that you cannot do that. And I'm very much like, oh, anything's possible, but like, no, that's not possible. So if you have that belief, you need to bring it to completion. And if you have some physical component that's making you sick and is not of value, put it in the ground. Say your goodbyes. And with that, I say goodbye. Everybody, please hit the like button right now. And you can subscribe or email me for a private reading at osirianrivers@gmail.com. I just have to say this. This is how the channel grows. Thank you so much and have a wonderful January 2020.